Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome to the family. I am honored to have you here. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. We are in rising sign messages, and we are looking at Libra season, but we're also looking at Ostara and at Mabon, depending on whether you live in the southern hemisphere for Ostara or the northern hemisphere for Mabon. Now, these are the sabbats that constitute the time frame in which we either move into the harvest season or move into the spring planting season. Mabon is the second harvest festival, and it is represented by when Persephone goes into the underworld. And during that time in Greek mythology, Demeter, Persephone's mother, or Ceres, depending on which mythology you read, withdrew the loving, nurturing, fertile, agricultural grain energy that is so prominent in her energy because of sadness from her daughter being taken to the underworld and taking up her rulership as the queen of the underworld alongside Hades or Pluto. In the springtime for Ostara, it's actually the reverse, where now Persephone has come back from the underworld and returned back to the world. So the way that Spirit showed me this energy works is for us to understand the reflection principle of the world, that the northern and the southern hemispheres mirror each other from what came before and what comes after. And it's because back in mythological times, they didn't know the size of the world. They didn't know how it all worked. And so they had these explanations for what happened. Now, you're an Aquarius rising. And I giggle because I have found myself falling more and more in love with Aquarian energy as of late. I apologize if you guys can hear my cat. Willow and Winifred are wrestling right now. But I do have quite a few Aquarius in my life, and the uniqueness that you bring to the world is such a refreshing breath of fresh air, and I love it. However, Aquarius, first of all, with you being a fixed sign, one moment, I gotta let Willow out. Okay, I'm back. I apologize, guys. My point here is, with you guys being this fixed air sign, sometimes you can get in your head and you can get stuck in a particular way of thinking. So we are working with your rising sign. What the rising sign is it's the point in which the sun hit the horizon on the day of your birth. And it's calculated based off of the location of your birth, the time of your birth, and the date of your birth. And it shows you when the sun peaked over the horizon and broke the surface of the sky. And this is the spot in your chart that is the moment and the placement of the essence of who you are coming into the world. So it is, as many people think that the moon is the soul, and I agree with that, the essence of the soul is your rising sign. And I apologize if you guys can hear a little bit of background noise. I do have the windows open. It is a beautiful, beautiful fall day this morning. So I definitely wanted to get that fresh air in here. But Aquarius, I want to hug you all so much all the time right now, because you have Saturn moving through your first house. That means that essentially everything that you are and everything that you believe and everything that you do right now feels like there's an instant karma for it, whether good or bad. And there's also this energy of who you are as being suffocated so much, so you have to fight back. All of these things that you may be feeling, you may be experiencing are 100% understandable. And this happens when Saturn moves through your first house. I remember when Saturn moved through my first house and I had no idea who I was, and I let someone else dictate who I was to my own personal and karmic detriment. And it took me years to recover from that. When you go through these phases, you are learning how to be more responsible, how to be more self-disciplined, how to understand yourself, but also how to break yourself free of what came before so that you can choose a new path. And Aquarius, you're the ones that are the best at breaking yourself free from whatever, because you have the most creative, innovative ways of doing this. It is natural to who you are. What we're going to do here is we're going to move through each of the moon phases. Each moon phase correlates to a different placement within your natal chart based off of whole house sign system and a different area of your life. So this first pile is September 25th and the new moon in Libra, which is in the 9th house. And that is going to be focused on your spirituality. October 2nd and the first quarter moon in Capricorn is your 12th house, which is going to be focused on yourself and in particular on your subconscious and unconscious mind and healing of things within your shadow. Then we're going to move on to October 9th with the full moon in Aries and the 3rd house, which is going to be focused on romance and love, but in the realms of communication and the type of communicative nature that you learned as a child in terms of love and romance. And finally, we are going to be moving to October 17th with the 3rd quarter moon in Cancer, and that is the 6th house. And that is focused on your career and your working life, as well as the balance between self-care, self-love, and the work that you do in service of others. I did want to mention that there was a song that I channeled with this pile, and I will link it down in the description box below. But the song that I channeled for you guys was Alpha Zulu by Phoenix, which doesn't surprise me whatsoever because it's one of those very unique songs. And it really speaks to your energy. Say hi. This is Bella. She's does not make an appearance very often, but she is definitely making an appearance for you guys. And she's sitting like a human on my lap because she just wants loves. So say hi, Bella. So I'm going to give Bella some loves, and then I'm going to clear everything out. A little before I clear it all out, I did want to mention your guys' energy has me kind of popping all over the place right now. The whole theme of all of this is communication. This card right here is kind of the overwhelming energy and theme of your personal Libra season for Aquarius risings. And this is the card 21 in communication. Now, 21 correlates to the World card. So we are talking about finding a conclusion to a type or a form of communication that is no longer working, that is not right for you, that was not ever your own personal styling, and learning new ways of communicating. And this is such a beautiful energy for you to be starting and going through Libra season with, especially in the realm of Mercury being retrograded in Virgo right now, because with that, the ways in which we communicate are being challenged and they're being overhauled and they're being changed because Mercury retrograde does that. It brings forth a new way of communicating. Some of you may be seeing more spiritual communications, different types of communications. You may be learning how to speak to yourself in a like a very, very massively different way. My words just kind of fell out of my head. You guys may feel like deeply impacted by this Mercury retrograde, because I haven't had this many like stutters and stutter stops with any other sign. So this may be really deeply impacting you and how you want to bring forth communication. But without further ado, I'm going to clear the board and then set up for the first pile and the new moon in Libra, and we'll get into it. Okay, Aquarius risings. So let's get directly into this new moon and the notes and everything that I have for it. We're going to go over the collective energies first. And remember, we are in your 9th house. So this is about your spirituality. So we want to think in terms of who you are and what your belief systems are, and especially your belief systems about the occult, about the mysteries of life, about life and death, about the things that this world tells you are the only constants and whether those things are actually constants. So with this new moon, we have the sun and the moon in Libra, and then we have Mercury retrograded and Venus both in Virgo. All 4 of these planets are conjuncting each other. So they are forming a 4-planet, 2-house, 2-sign trine, or 2-sign stellium. And with that, they're all trining Pluto in Capricorn. Because of this, the moon cycle itself, this new moon is not anything that's meant to be focally outward, which is kind of hard to do because with Libra, you want to focus on the relationships. You want to focus on the connections. But this is asking you to focus on your relationship and your connection with yourself, and with yourself in terms of what you believe for yourself, but what you believe in the world. This is an internal moment for you to bring back balance, to bring back harmony, and to surrender yourself and allow for a time of transformation of who you are in terms of what you believe, what you perceive, and what you are capable of doing, achieving, and reaching within the realms of the occult and the esoteric and the mystery of life and death and the world as a whole. So we're going to move into your oracle cards, but there are 3 key themes I want you to think about as we go over this message. The 3 key themes for this moon are, number 1 is personal accountability, number 2 is spiritual responsibility, and number 3 is surrender. And I am almost positive, because I'm feeling it so strongly, that you're sick of hearing surrender as well. And this is something that a lot of fixed signs get to. And I know this because I'm a Leo rising and a Leo moon. And so all of my house angles or my chart angles are in fixed signs, every single one of them. So I am very fixed in my energy. And when I hear the word surrender or sacrifice, I have had to teach myself to no longer get standoffish, to no longer get fearful, to no longer react to that word or to those words, and to understand how they work in my own mentality, in my own belief systems, my own philosophy. And this is something that's going to be really important for you for this moon phase, because there is a level of surrender you're being called to do. We are all being called to give to another level of surrender with this moon phase. With fixed signs, it's a lot more challenging, the concept of surrender. Cardinal signs are like, yeah, let's surrender. Let's surrender because I know it's going to give me the spark I need to keep going. And mutable signs are kind of like, okay, whatever, I can surrender this. I'm going to do this instead. And they just flow. Fixed signs have that innate fear of, if I surrender this, then what? And that's something that's coming through really strongly, that you can now plant the seeds to no longer continue in that mindset, to no longer carry that mentality of, now what? If I do this, then what will happen? And instead say, I'm going to do this so this happens. You change the way that you're wording it to help balance that fixed energy with the energy of change. And because you guys are ruled by Uranus, that should help you a lot if you can learn how to tap into that energy, even though Saturn is still moving through your sign. And on that note, I'm going to give you guys a shameless self-plug for myself here, because anybody who is struggling a lot with self-discipline, karma, restrictions, creativity, innovation, accepting your own uniqueness, both Saturn Retrograde Guidebook and Uranus's Retrograde Guidebook are available on Amazon now. I should have the Uranus retrograde guidebook ebook up this week as well. It may not be today, but I would check it out. It should be up this week if you want it in ebook or Kindle Unlimited format. Otherwise, please consider checking those out, because even though some of the transits have already passed, being able to go back and track them and go over the energies, you've already experienced the energies, or you will be experiencing the energies, and it will really help you move through and work with these two planets that have been battling within your sign for so long. And that might just be your saving grace to get through till March of 2023, when Saturn finally moves out of your sign. But even that, it's all going to help prepare you, because Pluto's about to come in. And when Pluto comes in, that's when you want to start talking to Capricorns. Like when Pluto comes into your sign, you want to be like, okay, Capricorns, let's sit down and let's jive here, because I want to know what to expect of this kind of transformation. These kind of things are a great way for you to work with other energies, with other signs and other modalities too, to learn more about yourself. That's just like a crazy message that I got for you guys to share. So, all right, let's take a look at what this new moon in Libra in the 9th house is really asking you to focus on with your spirituality. So we have 27 with psychic development, and that does reduce to a 9, and we are working with your 9th house. So that's pretty big. 37, which reduces to a 10, and we've got creation with soul expression and something new. I apologize for like how bright that is. I have the windows open, so if you can hear things and it gets really bright, it's because today is a day where it's like a beautiful fall morning. And I really, really felt like not just me, but the fixed signs especially need this fresh air and this bright sunshine. But that's also why I'm pulling my sleeves down, because I get cold easily. Then we have the first quarter moon in Gemini. Speak your world into being. I absolutely love that. Blue butterflies, purple, hyacinth. I just heard the word hyacinth. I think that's a type of flower. I'm fairly certain it's a type of flower. And I think they're purple even. But I did hear that. You may want to look up the symbolism of that. I'm going to actually write that down because I want to look that up. Okay. And then we have the card 33 with building your world, creation, expansion, and networking. Look, speak your world into being and building your world. You guys, wow. Okay. And then this is the Elqui, I believe is how you pronounce it. And it's the she who. However, I am going to give a nod to Baba Jolie and her guided messages, because she uses these cards a lot. And I love the way that she takes it and she makes it non-gender specific by saying it's just the one who. And I am going to definitely give her a nod for this inspiration. And I'm going to utilize that same method. So instead of she who, this is going to be the one who, so that it's not gender specific. So it's Yelena, the one who knows, wisdom, clarity, and resolution. All right. And then I'm going to actually pull your cards. So we have the 5 of fire, or the 5 of wands, the 5 and the father. Wow. And then 18 and thought. And this is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I felt like somebody was like, I wonder what that is. It's the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. It's a very, very psychologically deep tarot deck. There's a lot of Gemini energy here with you guys. This thought card and this Gemini card are both, you can see the two faces and the two people. And then you've got it here with the 5 of wands. So this okay, because you guys are Aquarius, you have Saturn moving through. One of the biggest struggles that you're going through right now is this energy of breaking the boundaries and breaking yourself out of the patterns that have been in place for a very long time, based off of the father role. It's the lessons of the father are reflected in the son. And so this is a very strong energy with you guys. But this is all in the realm of thought. And then we're back to this communication. So this is about, how that divine masculine thought energy comes through. Like, what is it that your divine masculine believes he is capable of doing? Does he think that everything that he does? And I want you to think of, when I say he, I'm talking about divine masculine energy. So we all have divine masculine and divine feminine energy within us. So this is about thinking about the action-oriented energy that you carry, and whether that action-oriented energy is telling you that in order to create this, and this have to happen. It's the limitations. It's the belief system based off of something that came before. The change that's happening here is the structure in which you view how to actually come out into the world and achieve the things that you want to achieve. And it's being done through allowing a closure of a cycle to happen so that you can move into a new version of yourself with wisdom, with clarity, with knowing that you are capable of building the world that you want to build. But it all comes down to the thoughts that you have. Am I two-faced? Can I embrace the light and the dark? Where is all of this coming from? This thought card is just there. There's so many things that are coming from this thought card. But the number one thing that I'm getting from this is the embracing of the mystery. And you may have grown up in a family that taught you that embracing the mystery is bad, or that never really helped you build anything in your life. It's almost like you're learning all of this on your own. Like nobody could have taught you this because there was no one there to teach you. And now there's this energy where you're learning that you can teach yourself. You're learning to step up and take responsibility. You're learning to surrender this old way of being so that something new can come in. This old thought process, this old way of communicating, this old way of moving through your divine masculine. You're really learning how to let that go so that you can shift yourself into a state of actually having this resolve to build the world that you want, to speak it into existence, to speak life into your world, to speak life into your existence, to speak love and nurturing and creation. And you're doing this through embracing the mystery. And if you look, your central card is this psychic development. It is an action-oriented psychic development. It's being willing to really step out of your comfort zone and into understanding and being aware of things out in the world in a dramatically different way than what you're used to. And that comes from this development of your own psychic gifts. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience are coming through very, very strongly for this pile in particular, or for Aquarius rising signs rather. My nose itches a lot. Okay. This is all I'm seeing for you guys for this new moon in Libra. Remember, this is September 25th. So this is about developing your psychic gifts. It's about building something new. It's about changing your thought process and speaking your world into existence, and knowing that you can change the structures that came before by feeding your divine masculine. I'm sorry, if you guys can see Bella really likes you guys. That's unusual, but I can see her like, right down here. Okay. So I'm going to pause it and switch the cards over, and we're going to move into October 2nd and the first quarter moon in Capricorn. Okay, Aquarius, we are back. I had to take another break. So if you guys see when I pull my hands down, if you can see all the fur and it's floating in the air everywhere now. Bella needed me to love on her. I actually put up a short about it because I literally was in between these two readings. So take that as your confirmation if you saw that short, that this is definitely for you. My pets have been so present for these readings lately. Okay, so we are on October 2nd. This is the first quarter moon in Capricorn, and we are into your 12th house. This is the house where we want to focus on you. The 12th house is normally the house that I would say is spirituality because it is the house of pure spirituality. But in terms of the moon moving through your 12th house, it is all about your personal emotions. It's about the ways that your emotions really impact you, your triggers, and your life. And this first quarter moon is the initiation phase. It is that cardinal, direct, taking action, taking initiative. And it's about initiating a new emotional response by finding the triggers that really impact you. Now, Aquarius, this moon phase for you is revolutionary. This is a new phase for you in its entirety, and it is very specific to you only. And this makes it part of that understanding that we're all going through these energies, but understanding that we go through them in our own individual way. There is still a collective that you belong to that resonates with the energies in the way that you are. And that way it's like a double networking kind of thing. We're working together, we're harmonizing together, we're learning, but we're also being our own unique selves. And this is so important right now. So this moon is really all about accountability still, but it's this inner awareness accountability. And we're working with the 12th house. So we are working with your shadow here. This is surrendering all of those emotional triggers and emotional responses that came before, because as Saturn is moving through your first house, this is impacting your 12th house. So this is impacting the ways in which your mind presents you into the outside world, that restriction, that patterning. It's you learning through internal expressions and emotional expressions of cause and effect. Because this is in Capricorn, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So we have your 12th house being ruled by the planet that's transiting through your first house. So no matter how you cut it, your shadow is living its best life in your conscious awareness as much as it can. So the healthier your shadow can be, the better it is for you and your future and you moving forward. Now, here's a really beautiful thing. Cancer is your 6th house. Right now, Black Moon Lilith, during this moon phase, Black Moon Lilith is out of bounds and at the anaretic, or the 29th degree of Cancer. And as many people as they want to see that the 29th degree is this terrible thing, that's not what it is to me. To me, the 29th degree is magic. This is where magic happens. When there is a transiting planet that hits this 29th degree, where is it hitting in your chart? Like, it doesn't matter about the aspects. I want to know the house. I want to know the sign, and I want to know what planet it is that's hitting it, because when it does, things change rapidly, magically. This is where things occur that we can't plan. For instance, Venus moved out of Leo and into Virgo. And when that happened, there was just this radical change of self-love within me. It just suddenly, the pieces finally put themselves together internally. Pieces that I had been pushing around and shoving around and trying to put together into the puzzle finally fell into place the way that they were meant to. It took a while, but it happened. And it happened because Venus sat at that 29th degree and brought that magic, that magical essence of love for the self into my awareness, so that when she crossed into it, I could put it into a practical aspect in my mind. It was a beautiful thing. So I want you to think about that, because with Black Moon Lilith being out of bounds and anaretic, that means it's not following any of the ways that we would astrologically associate Black Moon Lilith as. This is not about sexual deviancy or sexual proclivities or anything like that. And if you are hearing you're under 18 and you're hearing me say these things, my readings are generally intended for adults. So in terms of Black Moon Lilith being at the anaretic degree and out of bounds, this is a magical release that we're being gifted from ancestral and generational patterns of subjugation. So subjugation in this aspect is we're looking at the ability to love the self first and foremost, take care of the self first and foremost before being of service to other people. It's not about I'm going to give and give and give and give and give to other people, and then that's when I get back. I'm going to give and give and give and give and give to myself. Now I have an abundance for myself, and I am ready to be generous with this abundance because I know that this abundance is permanent because I have given to myself enough to create a permanent abundance within. It's that kind of energy that Black Moon Lilith is helping us understand and become aware of. The other factor of this is the triggers that you're going to be experiencing have everything to do with the moon being in tension with the sun, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. Literally all the planets except for Mars and Pluto. The way that we work with this energy, this tension that we're going to be feeling, where it feels like no matter which way we go in love and communication, expansion, our psychic gifts, within our own creativity, within any kind of karmic discipline, we're going to feel like who we are in our souls and our emotions are just being beat. And I can't say it in any other way. When I look at the chart, the best way that I describe it is bloody. It looks bloody. It just looks bloody. It's a red chart. The aspects are all hard. They're all challenges. But this is where we get the greatest growth. And when you stay in the fixed mindset, it gets really hard to have that kind of growth. So here we want to really think about, or you want to really think about how you approach being challenged within yourself, because this is about you taking the initiative to have a new emotional response surrounding your belief in yourself. And it's all going to be coming up from within. It's going to be coming up from your shadow. So that's going to feel like the biggest challenge. 12th house energy is not easy energy to work with. I'm going to encourage you not to project it outward. This is something that I do. I have to be very, very mindful of my own projections, especially when the moon moves through my 12th house, which is Cancer. Even just like yesterday, the moon was moving through my 12th house. I actually think that it might still be there today. I'm going to actually look, just curiosity. Yeah, the moon is just, it's just about to the anaretic degree. But as the moon moves through Cancer, it moves through my 12th house. And because of that, I understand that my emotions can get triggered in a certain way. And I have to be very mindful of my reactivity during that time. Now that I'm mentioning this because this first quarter moon in Capricorn, because it's a primary moon phase and it is about initiation, it's about you initiating a level of awareness, a level of accountability and responsibility within yourself. And when you do that, you're actually learning how to work with Saturn's energy in your first house. And in that way, then you're giving your shadow the love that your shadow really needs. Because that's all our shadow is just the disowned or pushed away parts of us that just want us to see it, want us to love it, want to challenge us so that we can be our best selves and we can work with our shadow. And I just saw 33:33 on the clock. And I swear, when I looked at it, it looked like the timer literally paused and the numbers just popped out. So threes have been very, very, very prominent, especially with the fixed signs. I just did Scorpio's energy and threes were so strong with them too. So there may be a lot of people that are coming into union. There's a threefold healing process that I channeled. And I don't want to I don't want to mention too much because I'm still working on it and I'm working on collaborations with it. But with this 3-mode healing process, it really takes things down to base levels in healing. And I feel like that's what you guys are really being called to do, is take your healing down to a base. Take it down as far as you can get it. Get to the base, the bottom, the absolute of the parts of your shadow that you still aren't looking at. And look at that, because with that, now you're going to be working into this energy with Mercury and Uranus and Pluto. So Mercury is harmonizing with Uranus and Pluto. Uranus and Pluto are not interacting with each other, but Mercury is interacting with both of them, forming an open earth trine. It's not a grand trine because they're not all together, but you've got Mercury here and it's going to Pluto and it's going to Uranus. So you've got the peak and you've got these two. So you actually have like an open goblet area for spirit to pour into. And this is the first time I've been given that imagery. So just FYI, it's the first time I've been given that particular imagery. But this is like the golden ticket to get yourself out of all of these emotional triggers. It's by allowing for some sort of transformative, innovative, creative communication from spirit, from source, from the cosmos, from the universe, from star seeds, especially for this pile, in a more rooted manner. And that's why I got this image of like a triangle like this. I'm not doing this very well. Okay, like this. So you've got the triangle like this. So the divine is going to pour into this area here. It's kind of like taking it's pouring into it. So let's see what the divine is pouring into it, because I know that I was led to do that for a reason. And you guys are seriously the only ones I'm doing that with. So let's take a look. We've got 22 with life purpose, 24 with balance, centered energy, and self-care. Full moon in Libra, find a balance. 39, miracles, ancient wisdom. 39 reduces to a 12, which reduces to a 3 as well. And then the one who prepares, zenith, formulate, strategize, and devise. This is the first time I've seen this zenith card, but I swear I had a dream about her hat because it was like a zebra. And then I just saw really long eyelashes, like long yellow eyelashes. That may be significant for some of you. Actually, you know what? I think that's it's not on this card, but I can see kind of like these here is what it looked like. So I definitely had a dream about this. So take that as a huge confirmation. This is about you. This is about really balancing your self-care, balancing the way that you love yourself, balancing out your life, because your purpose in life is to live. It's to be you. It's to be who you're meant to be. And let's get your cards. We've got the Ace of Pumpkins, the Knight of Lightning or the Knight of Swords. Wow, 7 and the Chariot, and the 10 of Lightning or the 10 of Swords. Don't panic at the 10 of Swords, please, because it's not the 10 of Swords that I'm picking up with that. I'm actually picking up the energy. You know, I got this with Scorpio too. There's something changing within the powers internally and externally with fixed signs in particular. So with this, what I'm really picking up is when you release yourself from these generational and these ancestral patterns, the primary area in which this is impacting you is your own mentality about your ability to create wealth. Plain and simple, it's like what you tell yourself is what is going to be. So if you sit and you say, okay, you know what? I have all of this ancient wisdom. I have this ancient soul. I have this knowing inside of me. And I understand. And now I'm hearing Ilanario's, I think it's Ancient Souls. I'll link it down below. Okay. I just am making a note so I don't forget to link them, because I do that when I'm channeling. I will forget. But you do have all of this ancient wisdom within you. And it's time for you to really balance it out, because what I'm feeling here, especially with life purpose, is that your life purpose cannot be completely brought into your awareness until you plant the seeds to release yourself from the mentality that you've been stuck in. This shadow energy that I'm picking up is like, I have to do XYZ in order to be able to do XYZ. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well because there's so much out there for it to be, but it's kind of like this, the divine wants to pour into you. The divine wants to pour into you what your purpose is. But in order for the divine to be able to pour into you that purpose, that wisdom that you need, you have to become balanced. And you can't become balanced until your shadow is balanced. And your shadow is balanced through love. First, foremost, and always, your shadow is balanced through love. So if you want success, if you want to be able to ride high and know that you are doing exactly what you're meant to do and you're harnessing your power in the best way possible, because that's what I'm seeing is ready to take hold here with this first quarter moon and the actions and the initiations that you take, these action-oriented moments. It's going to bring in miracles. These miracles are going to help you devise a plan of forward progress. It's going to help you continue moving forward, but not feeling as though you're leading the battle, more like you're pushing pieces around on the chessboard without having to get involved. You know, and in Harry Potter, there's wizard's chess, and in wizard's chess, it takes a lot of trust between the person playing chess and the chess pieces, because the chess pieces don't want to get beaten bloody. So this is about you coming into a state of self-trust, because your shadow needs to be able to trust you. Otherwise, it's going to continue to try to lead you in a direction that will leave you off kilter, off center, and constantly formulating a new way forward in order to avoid getting struck by lightning, getting hit by this, or getting hurt by that. It's learning how to really communicate in a new way with yourself. And this first quarter moon is going to help you do that if you embrace it, so that the divine can pour into you the purpose that you have here in this world. Opening up to your life purpose means opening up to a doorway in which you communicate differently with the world, with yourself, with the divine, with the natural flow and essence of everything, and not in a way where you're being deceptive to yourself or you're being defensive, but in a way where you understand what it means to be subjugated, what it means to be victimized, what it means to feel fear, but you also understand what it means to find miracles deep within you that can give you a power to harness within the world. And that's a huge, huge thing if you allow it to happen, Aquarius. It really is. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. And when I come back, we're going to do October 9th and the full moon in Aries in your third house. And we're going to be focusing on how you communicate in the realms of romance and love. Okay, Aquarius, I am back for the first time. I didn't take a break in between the piles because a message came through so strongly with this pile. With this moon cycle, before I can even get into what the moon cycle is, I want you to know that everything has a start and a stopping point during any point in time. And the ability to be loved and to love is not dependent based off of what came before. What came before can be washed away. It can be cleansed away. And it is time for that to happen. Sometimes it takes seeing to understand. Sometimes it takes believing in order to see. Sometimes it takes you surrendering to something that hurts, a truth that hurts, in order for you to be freed from the constraints of what came before. And I don't know how this is going to apply in your life. I just saw 4444 on my clock, even though it wasn't 4444 on my clock. That was very strange. It's like the numbers just shifted with my third eye. But I want you guys to think about the number 4 in that essence, because the 4 is about stability. It's about security, safety, what makes you feel safe within yourself. This moon phase, when we're talking about communication and romance, we're talking about what it is that you were told as a child your worthiness of being loved is, what it is that you were in your early adult life or in your teens and your relationships, how they taught you to be loved and to love. And this is about overhauling that, because it's time to cleanse all of what anybody else has ever said to you out. Because Aquarius, the way that you love is through understanding. It's through understanding every facet of every person in every possible way and accepting them as they are, without question, without doubt, without hesitation. And nobody does that. Just nobody does that except for you. You do that. And it has felt, I am sure it has felt for the past 2 years, almost 3 years now, as though you loving someone is just giving you a roundhouse kick. That ends here. This new moon, or this full moon in Aries, I keep doing that. This full moon in Aries is the energy of the right actions lead to the right results. That means that it's time to start moving from your heart. As much as you are that mental energy, it's time to bring your emotions into it. It's time to bring that creative self-expression into it. It's time to harmonize with your own innovative, unique self. It's time to allow a soul level healing of your emotions, of your mentality, of yourself, and of your essence, your spirit, your connection to spirit. Shamanic fire meditations are really great for this, but also call in Archangel Zadkiel, who is the archangel of forgiveness, self-forgiveness, mercy, grace, and blessings. And he is great with the violet flame purifications. This is a spiritual flame that will come up and just cleanse your entire spiritual body. It repairs all the auric fields. It helps bring out the emotions that need to be cleansed. It's really great. This is going to give you this Phoenix rising energy. And Aquarius, you more than anything need this Phoenix rising energy within your hearts, because you can find yourself becoming very hardened, very stuck, this is how I see things and nobody else can see it any other way except for how I see it. Or you can be very flowy, depending on whether you veer towards the air or the water of your sign. And it really does depend on how you perceive it and how you move. You have this choice. You have the choice of whether or not you want to focus on what came before and all those structures that made you feel and made you believe these negative cycles that are ready to end, or whether you want to focus on the transformational power of heart-centered communication, of moving from the heart, of speaking from the heart, and of finding that balance that you have been called to, that the divine is trying to pour into you in this beautiful harmony with your heart. The message, the number one message of this moon, the number one energy of this moon is to allow a healing of your very soul through opening to the beauty and the wonder and the mystery and the magic of unconditional love. And Aquarius, I get the sense that you feel like unconditional love is a fairy tale, and I'm here to tell you it's not. Unconditional love exists within each and every one of us because spirit exists within each and every one of us. And when you harness that understanding, that awareness, that's when you come into greater healing. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards for this full moon in Aries. So I am not surprised. We have your inner child. We have 28 with the ancestors, and it says historical connections and purposes. There is a lot of deep rooted childhood stuff coming up here. First quarter moon in Sagittarius, believe in your good luck. 22 with telepathy, transmission, perception, and communication. I don't think anybody should be overly shocked to see that card, considering we have this communication card. I just want her face on there. We have this communication card here, which is actually a nod to telepathy as well. And then we have the one who regrets, éclat, battle, victory, and bitterness. Okay, so this... Nope. Okay. I'm going to tell you the message that I'm getting first. Sometimes telepathy works very similar to claircognizance and clairaudience. Sometimes telepathy works like you see it in the movies. It just kind of depends. But your ancestors are coming through to tell you that the healing that you've done for your inner child has removed a lot of bitterness from your family line. And so it's important for you to not regret the things that you didn't get to experience as a child or the things that your child experienced. Regrets actually keep you from believing and perceiving the truth of who you are and the beauty that you have. If you look here, the center card is the brightest card out of all of your cards. All the other ones, even though the ancestors card is very bright, it's bright in the sense of like passed over loved ones. What I'm getting from this is like you are the bright shining star of your ancestral line. And because of that, your ancestors are really coming through and bringing you messages. They are communicating with you very strongly so that you understand that the patterns in which they were in are ready to be released, that they don't want you to carry a bitterness within you or a regret within you that has anything to do with the line that you came from. They want you to see that you came here with this beautiful innocence, this childlike innocence. And that part of you came here so that it could cleanse that out of your family line. And this moon phase is the perfect time to actually cleanse that out of your family line. So let's take a look at your cards. We have the card 9 with seek, bluebirds, blue jays, may be significant. Then we have the 7 of emotions with daydreams and decisions. We have the card 1 with base chakra, and then the card 5 with win or lose. And that 5 card really makes me go back to this eclat and the battle and the victory. This full moon in Aries, in terms of love, this is about seeking that internal awareness of how you have daydreamed about love and whether those daydreams are accurate or whether they're built off of something that is unrealistic. So for instance, we have all these fairy tales and fairy tales are beautiful, but things aren't like Once Upon a Time and Happily Ever After. Even though they are, it's more along the lines of learning how to actually have a genuine, connected relationship. It's learning how to be open, be honest, be communicative, instead of just dreaming up a fantasy of a person that you believe is going to come into your life and swoop you off your feet. It's about daydreaming of the kind of relationship that you want to have that has permanency, that has resilience, that has that I love you, win or lose, you are my grounding and we are solid and stable and steady together. And you may not have had that kind of example in your childhood. That may be something that you had to learn later on in life. And because of that, it has made you seek out these notions, these dreams of this is the kind of love that I need. This is the kind of love that I want. And it's all really for you to try and build up this solid foundation within yourself. Now, your ancestors are coming in and asking you here to believe in your ability to create the life that you want, to create the love that you want, to build that relationship, to understand and nurture the relationship that you have because you're nurturing yourself in the right way. You're nurturing your inner child in the right way. You have already worked through a lot of that energy of yourself and yourself in terms of abundance and miracles and blessings and the wisdom that you have. Now it's time for you to seek out what your heart is trying to tell you about how safe it is to truly love and whether love is, I'm hearing love is a battlefield. You guys are getting so many songs. That's Pat Benatar. I'm going to write that down. So I'm going to make sure that I link all of these songs for you guys. So if you want to go and listen to it throughout the month, that would be great. But this is really like You're being challenged to really go within your own mentality on this one and find out how you are communicating with your heart, if you're communicating with your heart, and then reopen that, because love isn't meant to be a win or lose. It's meant to be an all in, all one, all the time. And I know it's hard to understand, especially if you're not in it, but it's kind of like you can have as many challenges and as many issues as you want, but it's not always easy for you to accept that that is still real love, because love isn't like it is in the movies. It's not like it is in daydreams. Real love is the kind that works at it, that fights for it, that understands that we're all wounded in our own ways and we're all healing in our own ways, and we all are meant to heal in our own ways. And so we stick together and we do this healing, even when we fight, even when we struggle, even when it feels like this is a win or lose battle and you're in a lose-lose situation. You're still going to win as long as you follow your heart. And that is something that is perpetually difficult for you at times, Aquarius, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It doesn't mean that you can't. It just means that you have to trust that you are safe enough to love, and that you are safe enough to embrace the fact that you are worthy of love, and stop seeking the love that you feel as though you have been lacking, and instead give it to yourself, because your ancestors are saying that's going to change things. That's where things change for you, is when you give yourself that love. Then all of a sudden luck is on your side. All of a sudden every battle is a win. Every moment that feels like it would have been a battle is no longer a battle, and everything is just playful. It's like the world will seek out the best possible scenarios for you and just gift it to you if you embrace this. All right, so we are going to move on to the final moon phase, the third quarter moon in October 17th, and that is in Cancer and your 6th house. And so we are going to shift into your work and career focus. Hello, Aquarius. I actually took quite a bit of a break between the last two portions, and with that, the weather has kind of kicked up. So if the wind gets too loud, I might just close the windows. But it is such a beautiful energy in here with the windows open and the birds chirping. We are now moving into October 17th and the energy of this third quarter moon in Cancer, which is falling in your 6th house. We are shifting to career, to work, to service to others. And Aquarius, here we are experiencing the moon and the emotional essence and communication, especially for you, the emotional and soul communication is starting to come into a balance and a harmony internally with this expansion of self-compassion and an expansion of your psychic gifts. This is going to be it's going to happen the easiest when you really step into the flow state of accepting who you are and accepting that you really are like the absolute most unique butterfly. When you accept yourself as the beautiful, unique expression of divinity that you truly are, it's in that moment that all the tension that you've had internally that has built up and built up and built up about trying to love this person or love that person, focusing on any kind of love or every kind of love that just simply is not heart-centered and true to you, that all breaks away because now you see your own uniqueness, but you also see your worthiness of love and being loved and loving others and receiving love. And that's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So this moon phase is going to really, truly help teach you about the emotional undercurrents, which are creating this illusion that when you get into a commitment or when you get into a partnership or when you are of service to others, that you have to sacrifice yourself. It's the illusions of self versus union and harmony and balance. And it surrounds love a lot. That was a lot of the energy here, is a lot of love, but self-love, love for others, love of service, love of just like even just the natural world. This is all based off of subjugational structures that have been holding the divine feminine within you back from truly unifying with your divine masculine, so that you come into this balance and harmony within yourself. The best way forward with this is actually to open yourself up to communication from spirit. And you guys are literally setting the tone, setting the precedent, setting the energy of this communication. So communication from spirit, intuition, and psychic insights, and the ways in which you're going to feel them. For you in particular, it's going to come through in your solar plexus area, is what I've been feeling really strongly, and in your throat chakra. So this is going to be like self-empowered speaking that is really going to help bring you back into a state of balance. In this way, this moon phase in particular, there is a healing that can be found, and it is through fueling creative, inspirational solutions by taking communicative action. And it's by utilizing Mars in Gemini that this is really, really going to take hold. For you, this is perfect because Gemini is in your 5th house. So Mars in Gemini is literally fueling you with the right words, the right inspiration, pure motivation, so that you can come out and creatively express all the uniqueness and the strangeness and the funniness and all the quirky Aquarian nature that you are, in the sense of just beautiful creative self-expression. And when you do this, when you step into this during this moon phase, it's literally helping heal the divine masculine within you in a really, really huge way, because it's helping break that divine feminine free. And we've already been experiencing that since that first quarter moon in Capricorn, with the black moon Lilith being out of bounds. We are breaking that divine feminine free. We are unifying her with the divine masculine. And Aquarius, you're leading the pack. You're leading the collective. As the energy that you are, you're leading the collective in learning all these new communicative paths. It's learning how to speak in a new way, learning how to hear in a new way. And I realize that when I say hear, I go like this. Like I tap my ear and I go like this. Because I do this with my kids and my dogs. Like, you need to listen to me is what I do all the time. So if you saw me point, that's why. It's a habit that I have as a mom. So I wanted to show you guys that. I don't mean to offend anybody. I do know that pointing can offend people. It's not in my culture, but I do want to acknowledge that. Anyway, so let's see what this 3rd quarter moon, this career focus really is going to be for you. So we've got 25 in nature, which doesn't surprise me because we were talking about this pouring in of the physical world, this new way of hearing, new way of communicating. It's opening yourself up to the nature of divine communication without you understanding or needing an understanding on a logical and critically thinking level, but being in that creative, innovative flow state and understanding that you're going to communicate no matter what. We've got 43 with your eternal spirit, higher self, sacred intuition. Again, intuition. Sacred geometry, ley lines, Metatron, flower of life, lotus flowers. All of these may be synchronistic for you. If they aren't yet, they will be in the next 4 weeks. We have the new moon in Sagittarius, focus on the positive. And you know what? This to me is speaking so much about saying, if you continue focusing on the positive, focusing on the nature of your higher self, your intuition, your eternal self, your path, your forward progress, the nature of the communication that you have with the divine, and nurturing that and focusing on that being positive and on the inner communication that you have being positive, everything is going to begin to turn around. This new moon in Sagittarius is actually going to fall in the beginning of, mid to late November. It would be after November 22nd. So this phase here, this third quarter moon in Cancer phase, is setting you up. So the real message here with the new moon in Sagittarius, and again, you guys are so unique because I'm getting such specifics for you. And this didn't happen with a lot of the other piles, but I'm getting such deep specifics for you. With this new moon in Sagittarius, in regards to your career, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever communicative career you're in, because you're Aquarius, you can do this. This is what you are naturally gifted with, is speaking from your higher self into the world, speaking to nature, speaking about the essence of nature. A lot of humanitarian, of course, but a lot of like global activism is in here. Focus on the positive. Focus on what you know will work. Focus on what you know will change. I can't help but think about my friend Ari and the passion that she has for saving the oceans. And when I think about the passion that she has for saving the oceans, I think about it, if she were to step up right now and focus solely on the positives, she would be setting the tone for all the other people to do this. This isn't toxic positivity, Aquarius. This is you saying, I know this is the right path. I understand. I'm aware. I know my own worth, my own intuition, my own knowledge. I trust my higher self. I know what this is meant to do, what we're meant to do here. This is what we can do. And then you just focus on the positive results. Focus on the optimism. And as hard as that can be, this is the time for you to really, 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 truly scatter the seeds saying, I'm going to see the growth of only this in my life. And it's not you limiting the universe anymore. It's you telling the universe, I refuse to accept anything less than what I truly deserve in my work, in my service to others, and in my own life and the love that I have for myself. And then we have the card 9 with tenderness, true love, and compassion. Some of you may want to go on an African safari at some point in your life. And if that's the case, that will happen. And it will happen a whole lot sooner than you think it will. A whole lot sooner. I don't know who that is for, but that definitely came through. And then the one who thrives, orchid, flourish, prosper, and blossom. See, right here, there is so much in these 3 cards alone that are so very, very much your third eye, your throat chakra, your solar plexus. What did I say? It was going to be in your solar plexus and your throat chakra. And it's literally bleeding from the top down to the bottom and coming into the center. This is you coming back to the nature of who you are. There is so much in this that when you unify these forces within you, when you bring them into harmony together, you're literally going to harness that compassionate love. And you know what? This right here, compassion, remember that this third quarter moon is about finding a harmony internally with your soul and your emotions and your heart with an inner expansion of self-compassion. And self-compassion is truly one of the hardest things to hold on to, but it is what you guys are learning to do. And you're actually setting the precedent on how to do this and then communicating it into the world. So we have the 8 of goblets or the 8 of cups, the 8 of bones or the 8 of wands, and the 9 of bones or the 9 of wands. Wow. Wow, wow. Oh, I see now. Okay. Yep. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. When you do this, guys, I'm so excited for you. When you do this, what you're really being called to do is understand that there is a time and a place for you to fall in line, and there is a time and a place for you to step out of your comfort zone and to do what is right. It's about learning that even those who are higher than you, even those who are in charge, even those who may have a higher ranking or a perception of a higher awareness, really don't have it. And so now is your time to walk away from all of the trappings of the pain and the anguish and the chaos and the confusion and the ways in which you feel beaten and bloody. Now you get to walk away from it. And as you do that, there is going to be this massive overhaul, rapid change, rapid progression, rapid everything. Focus on the positives. If you focus on the positives and you choose to walk away, to go on a journey in which you want to experience something completely different, because this Eight of Goblets card talks about Anna in Supernatural, and Anna is an angel who chooses to fall. She willingly falls from grace, and she has to go on a journey to get her grace back because she's being chased by the brothers and sisters she used to have because of her gifts. She chooses to experience life as a human because she wants to feel. She wants to know what it's like to feel. She wants to love. She wants to experience. And that's so important for all of us. That is so resonant for the collective right now. We are here to experience this life as a human, to experience the pleasure and the pain, the joys and the sorrows. We're here to experience it so that we may learn more about our own soul and our soul's mission and the nature of the world that we live in by learning to love ourselves, and learning how that love that we have for ourselves and for others literally prospers. It brings prosperity. It brings thriving and flourishing. And all you truly have to do is focus on what you want. And you can do this, and you will be doing this. I can already see it. So I'm going to clear these off, as you can already see, because I'm just kind of jumping ahead. But I'm going to clear these off. And what I'm going to do here, as I've been doing for everybody, is just get some closing messages as we're going into it for Aquarius. So I did want to give a shout out to ASO Tarot, because this is my version of Mega Deck, and that was definitely inspired by ASO Tarot's Mega Deck that she made a video on. And I think she said it was like in the middle of the night. And this literally was like in the middle of the night. I saw myself mixing all of these together. So this is my nod to ASO. So thank you, ASO, for the inspiration. And then, yeah, we've got Chakra. Is there another one, Spirit? For Aquarius. This is just the energy for you to take today, moving forward. I was going to say, I feel like there is one more there. All right. And on the back, we have the card 32 with 3 monkeys. And those are see no, speak no, hear no evil. So this is, again, that energy. This energy right here is, again, that focus on the positives. If you focus on what you want to see and speak and hear in existence, that's what you'll get. A good way for you to break yourself free of the mental anguish and the constant go is to allow yourself to meditate. And that's this 22 meditation card. Then we've got the card 4 with grounding. 13 with personal power, which also reduces to a 4. And 35 with soul healing, which reduces to an 8. Were you guys, yes, you guys were the sign that I saw 4444 when it wasn't 4444. No, we've got 2 4s. So meditation and choosing to stay positive, choosing to see the best, choosing to believe the best, choosing to accept only what you know is right for you, and grounding yourself into that personal power, into that truth, into that way of thinking and perceiving and moving through the world. That is how you really empower your own heart, heal your soul, and step up into the world and say, this is who I am, and this is what I'm worth, and this is what I will and will not accept. And I'm not giving apologies. I make no apologies for what I know is right for me. this is my path, this is my life, and this is what I know is right for me because the divine has shown me this. And let me teach you how to have this, stand in this power, and understand this for yourself and for your life because we're all meant for this. So let me show you how to root yourself down into your purpose in this life. Let me show you how to rip up all the pain and really heal your soul and step into the truth of who you are so that you will see the world the way that I see the world. So you will see the world in bright colors and potent and powerful energy and a way in which I harness the power within me for the good of all, but first for the good of myself, not out of selfishness, not out of greed, not out of pride, but out of worth, out of value, out of knowing that I pour best into others when I pour into myself. That, Aquarius, is profound. It is life-changing. It is world-changing. And that's what you're here doing for us. And I personally want to say thank you. Thank you for the tone that you set. Thank you for the energy that you bring. Thank you for all you have been enduring during this Saturn retrograde and Saturn transit through your first house. I know it's not easy. I know it isn't. I have experienced it. I know it's not. And I appreciate you continuing to move forward because as much as we talk about a Saturn return, Saturn transiting your first house feels like a roundhouse kick to exactly everything that you believed of yourself all the time. It is one of the more challenging transits. So thank you so much. If you need some more guidance on this, please, please check out my books, Saturn Retrograde Guidebook 2022 and Uranus Retrograde Guidebook 2022, because Uranus is your ruler and Saturn is moving through Aquarius. And I truly believe that these energies will help you tremendously in these books, not just now, but continually moving forward, and especially through the Pluto in your sign, in your first house transit, which is coming up starting next year. So, all right, Aquariuses, thank you so much again for being here. Thank you to your guides and my guides and for Spirit to connect us, for these messages to flow, for the ways that this whole thing has been going. It's been just an amazing experience, and I am ever so grateful and ever so humbled to be able to sit here and help channel for the collective. So thank you so much. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Down in the comment section below, I want you to give me some sort of self-empowered comment. I want to know how you're feeling after this reading. I truly do, because I can feel this huge empowered energy with you guys. And I want to make sure that that gets to you. I am somebody who just genuinely cares. So I just very much want to make sure that you get that feeling as well. So Aquarius, thank you again so much. I love you all, and I will see you again at my next reading. Bye.